Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. For today's video I had the idea that we could tier rank all of the books that I read last year because I only started making videos this year and I thought it might be interesting to see what kind of books I read last year and also what my opinion on all of them is. So I have all of the 50 books that I read last year pulled up on this tier ranking website. I'm sorry about all of the ads, but I sadly can't do anything about that because I won't pay. I'm just quickly going to tell you about all of the categories that I have. So our top category is I will never shut up about this. Those are books that I just love with my entire heart and I always think about them, I always talk about them, that type of vibe. Then we just have Love It. It's just a great book. Then we have I Like You Have a Cupcake. Those are books that are just fine, solid books, but I don't think about them too much, but they're still good when I remember that I read them. Next up we have Meh. That is just not the best, not the worst, that type of vibe. And our tier at the very bottom is Just No. Those are just books that I just don't like, don't know why I read them, something like that. So let's start off with Percy Jackson, The Battle of the Labyrinth. This one is the 4th book in a series, so it is ranked pretty high. It is a really good book. I don't remember too much about it, but that's just because all of the books from the series kind of are the same in my head. And on that same note, I read the Demigod Diaries, I think. I can't read what it says right here. No, I think it's the Demigod Files. It's like a novella between the books from the Percy Jackson series, and I also liked it. I don't remember too much about it, but I'm pretty sure it was good. And lastly, I read Percy Jackson and the something, I can't read what it says, but it's the last book in the series and it is so good. I love it and I think this is such a great finish to the series, so I will never shut up about it. And I lastly also read a really small novella from Percy Jackson. It was The Singer of Apollo, and honestly it's kind of meh because it only gives you one story and I feel like that is too little. It was just a 20-page story and I mean it was fine, but I just hoped it would be more. Next up we have Forever Interrupted. I think I'm going to put this at Love It because I don't think about this book too much, but I really, whenever I do think about it, I just remember that I really liked it and that it was kind of eye-opening for me in some kind of way, I think, because it just was so different in some sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Then we have The Wizard of Oz. Now, here's the thing. I kind of have a grudge against classics, so I feel like it is somewhere between I Like You Have a Cupcake and meh, but I don't know where. So I think I'm going to put it at I Like You Have a Cupcake because I do have some fond childhood memories with that story for some reason. I don't remember how that is a connection in my brain, but it somehow is. So I think that's a good spot for it. Next up we have Say No to the Dress. I mean, I rated it a 3-star, I think, but honestly that's just a no for me. I read this when I was sick. I remember that very vividly for some reason. And I just didn't really like the story. I mean, the core of it was good. It was body positivity, stuff like that. But just the way that it was done I didn't really like it that much. And then I read Better Than the Movies. I love it. I think about this every now and then. And I just really like the story of it, and it's such a classic rom-com vibe, and I mean it's very predictable though, but that's what we're here for, you know? So great book. I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. I think I Like You Have a Cupcake because this is a non-fiction book, and it's like, I don't read that much non-fiction, and that, I mean, it was pretty interesting, but that's pretty much it. Like, I know that the author put out more books like this, and I just wouldn't be intrigued to read them, to be honest. But I do remember that I think I read this one and the next two books because my sister and I kind of swapped some of our favorite books. So that's why I read that one. I probably wouldn't have picked it up otherwise. We have Assistant to the Villain. This is also a love it for me because I also don't like think or talk about this one too much, but I really, whenever I do remember it, I love it so much. I really want to continue the series actually, but I haven't because it's just like not at the top of my mind. Now we have Animal Farm, another classic. So I told you about my conflict with classics, but I think this one is going to go to I Like You Have a Cupcake as well because I think the like story of it is really crazy, and if you like understand it on a different level kind of, it definitely is more like interesting. But I don't know why I hate classics. I try to read them every year and they just, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the language or something, but they just aren't my favorite ones. Ooh, now Percy Jackson and the Greek Gods. I Like You Have a Cupcake. Honestly, this is like between the Percy Jackson series because there's like another series, and this one is basically just Greek mythology, and I really liked that, to be honest. The stories were told in a way that it was easy to understand. It wasn't like too complicated or anything, because I feel like you can definitely make that whole Greek mythology stuff seem very confusing, and I think Rick Riordan did a great job at making it like easy for kids to understand, if that makes sense. Next up I read Legendary, which is the second book in the Caravel series. I think this one is going to go love it. I love that series. It's really great. Ooh, More Than a Best Friend. This is also love it. I think about this book like every now and then, and I just really love the vibe of it. We have Percy Jackson's Greek heroes. I think this is the same as the Greek gods. It's a great vibe. It's really understandable for kids to like understand Greek mythology, and yeah, I like it. Finale. I will never shut up about it. It's just great. It's the third book from Caravel, so. Honey and Issues, what is it? Guide to Fake Dating. I'm like between I Like You Have a Cupcake and meh, because I remember that I enjoyed it, but it also wasn't like too crazy, and I didn't really connect to the story that much. But I still think it was pretty solid, and it was like a fun time, but just nothing too crazy. Then we have Harry Styles, The Making of a Modern Man. That is a meh for me. Here's the thing, you might know I'm a really big One Direction fan. And I just think Harry was portrayed as such a womanizer in this book. I still remember that. And I mean, it's been 1.5 years since I read that book. So, yeah. But I don't know why I remember that so much, but I just didn't really like that, and I just feel like the author who wrote that book didn't really capture Harry that much, if that makes sense. He just, I don't know. But it was still interesting, and yeah. I have my little book mug, isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, now you might see right here that we have something to unpack. I basically read the entire Throne of Glass series, and this is going to be interesting because those books also kind of intertwined quite a lot. But I think the first book, I loved it. But I liked it to have a cupcake because there were definitely better books in the series, so I think I think that's a good spot for it, but it was such a strong start to an amazing series. I will never shut up about it, honestly, but we'll keep that for the later books because that one just wasn't that crazy in comparison to the other books, but it still was really incredible. Crown of Midnight is definitely a love it. I love that book. I don't know why, but that book in particular is so, like, whenever I think about the series, I think about that book and that, like, book cover for some reason. I don't know why. Air of Fire is I Like You Have a Cupcake. It was just like physically split apart. Like there were a lot of different settings kind of, and that was not too great, and it took quite a long time for them all to like meet up and do something together. Queen of Shadows. Now I also don't really remember this book that much, but I mean some of it, but not a lot of it. So I think it's also going to go in I Like You Have a Cupcake, because the next two books are definitely going to I Love It. I know that some people low-key hate on The Tower of Dawn, but I actually think about some stuff from that book quite often because I really liked the like different setting that we got and also some different characters. I just really like that book, and also I think because I did the tandem read it didn't get too boring or anything. So yeah, those two, that whole experience was absolutely insane. And then we have Nora Goes Off Script. I feel like this is such a perfect I Like You Have a Cupcake book. I mean, it is just great vibes. Still quite predictable because it is a romance, but really good one. And then we have Kingdom of Ash. I will never shut up about this. I think about some scenes from that book like every week. I'm not kidding. It is so insane what that book did to my heart and brain and everything. It is such a crazy book. It's also almost 1,000 pages, so yeah. So I'm noticing that there are a lot of like last books in the series at the top. I think that is going to change actually. Okay, Beach Read by Emily Henry. I love it. I think it's a great vibe. It was the first book of hers that I read, and it was just great. I don't think it is like my favorite book by her, just because I don't know, some parts of the story were a little bit annoying to me, or I didn't connect to that much, but it was still a very good book. Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I think I think it's going with I Like You Have a Cupcake, even though I rated it a 5-star. But the thing is just that I don't think about this too much. Like, rarely ever, to be honest. And, I mean, I remember that there were some absolutely insane plot twists, but yeah, I think it just makes sense there. Now, funny story on the other hand, I will never shut up about. I have recommended this book to so many of my friends, and they have all told me that they absolutely loved it, and I am just so obsessed with that book. I don't know why. I was like really close to rereading it this year actually. Yeah, it was just so great, and I will never shut up about this. It's so great. Some Girls Do is also an I Like You Have a Cupcake book, because I still think about that one every now and then. Yeah, it was a great book. I really enjoyed it. The Love Hypothesis, I love it. It's a great book, and I don't have to say anything more. Then we have The Lost Hero from the Heroes of Olympus series. I think that is also an I Like You Have a Cupcake, because I saw the potential the series had, but the first two books in the series were very much just like setting up the story, so that's why it's kind of not that high for me. Now we have the Heartstopper series. I reread that one again recently, so I still have everything fresh in my mind. I think the first book and the second book as well are an I Like You Have a Cupcake. And then the third book I love, and then the fourth and fifth book are definitely an I will never shut up about this vibe. Simply because the story takes on such a like more mature like route from those two books, so I really love that. And then we have The Son of Neptune, which is the second book from the Heroes of Olympus series, and I liked it, but yeah, it's kind of the same vibe. There was still so much like setting up, and I was just waiting for something more to happen, I guess. Next up I read Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, and I had to read this for school, so it's definitely going in the meh tier. But I don't know, I think I understand why people are so intrigued by his literature, but I'm just not one of those people. It's just kind of too like dark and weird for some reason. I don't know, I'm just not a big Kafka fan, I'm sorry. Next up we have The Demigod Diaries. Also don't remember a lot about this one. But I think I like You Have a Cupcake because I just like Rick Riordan as an author very much, so I think that's pretty solid. And now The Mark of Athena, I love it. That's the third book in the Heroes of Olympus series. That was like the first time that all of the characters started interacting like as a whole, because in the first two books they were kind of like split apart. I don't want to give anything away, but that's kind of the vibe. Now we have Don't Let It Break Your Heart. This one, I think I'm actually, well, okay, this is kind of between I Like You Have a Cupcake and meh for me, because I enjoyed it, but it didn't stick to my mind that well, and I remember that I found the main character quite annoying. But I still liked it, but I think it's going for meh. Not because it's like super bad or anything, just because I just don't think about it that much. It's not the best story in some way, I don't know. Now we have The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love it. This is such a great story. I just love it, and I remembered reading that one last year. It was so fun. I also read Mario und der Zauberer. This is just no. I had to read this for school as well, and we watched the movie as well, and it was so terrible. I hated every second of it. Sorry to anybody who likes that. I mean, people can have different opinions, but I absolutely hated that for some reason. I don't know. It was just not for me. Okay, we've got our last 5 books, and these are also some very interesting books. I have a book called Draußen vor der Tür. That's also a just no for me. I mean, I think it was pretty like, it was very dark, so I think that's mainly why I didn't enjoy it that much. I also had to read it for school, so yeah. And then we have Falling. This is an I Like You Have a Cupcake. I just remember that at the time that I was reading it, I really, really enjoyed it because it was like kind of very fitting for winter for some reason. So yeah, really like that one as well. Honeymoon for One. I think this is honestly going for I love it. This was so vibey and just great for some reason. I wasn't going into it expecting that much, but I still think it delivered so well, and there was also a dog, so I think that always makes it better. And then we have This Winter by Alice Oseman. I Like You Have a Cupcake. I mean, this is just, I read this one almost every year in the Christmas time, I think. And I mean, it is quite sad, but also kind of hopeful, so I really like it. And The Wishing Game, the last book I read that year, we left with a bang, was an I will never shut up about this book. I think about that one so often. I just really, really love the story and everything about that book, the whole, just everything. So I would definitely recommend that, I guess. I was actually thinking of doing something similar like this, like a tier ranking type of vibe this year at the end, so that I can like wrap up every single book that I read in this year. If you think that is cool, let me know. I would love to do that because I have been wanting to do a tier ranking video for such a long time, but I just didn't do it so far, so I thought, why not just do it? But yeah, that is going to it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching this little tier ranking video, maybe like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!